best we can here since my wife and I moved. It took a lot when you move, it takes a lot out of you. So we're pretty beat up here. Speaking of beat up here, okay. Biden pooping in his pants. Sorry to start this way here. The conservative media is obviously profiling this man. He should be in a hospital at this point. He should be cared for and so forth, not walking around acting like the president.
But again, I've said the media is in on this whole thing. You look at ABC and CBS News, the pictures of Biden looking very presidential, very stoic and so forth, and looking like he's on top of the job. They won't show any element of this. So again, the media continues to be the enemy of the people. Another example of that, I should say, is that the economy. Jobs report came out, and there was 270,000 people that were hired, and that's obviously a good thing. But CBS News highly propagandized the piece. Who was the person that wrote it here? I saved it right here. It is a woman named Kate Gibson. Again, they're all liberal women at CBS News, and this woman writes this piece touting how great the economy is and how inflation it has resumed its gradual descent. In fact, she underscores that. That's a lie. You go to your grocery store, you try to buy anything. Prices have not come down. What they're trying to refer to is the rate, the inflation going up. The rate of increase has slowed down. That's what she's talking about. Inflation overall is still going upwards. But again, you have these propagandists left and right covering for Joe Biden, trying to make him look like he's on top of things, trying to look like the economy is on the right track. It's infuriating to say the least. What else we have here? I'm just looking at my caller prep board because I sort of had to hustle this thing together. I got a question for everybody. Kind of a very serious question. And Sean, I want you to weigh in on this. After everything that has happened, all the roadblocks that President Trump has had to go through, especially with this latest with the trial in New York, all the polls say that he is going to win. But does anyone really think that the evil communist powers that be that have taken over this country are simply going to let Donald Trump walk back into the White House?
Of course not. Of course not.
No. They'd kill him. They'd kill him first. They would literally kill him first, and that's what they're going to do. I think that's the only option for them because they're not going to just say, "Oh well, we tried, and Trump is the president again."
There are several scenarios that may play out. I don't know what's going to happen, but they won't. If they allow the election, they're going to try and rig it. If they can't rig it well enough and Trump actually wins, they'll figure out some way that he's not going to take office. Something, whether it's a terrorist attack or who knows.
Well, see, that's
it ain't going to be pretty. This is one of those things where I really hope I'm wrong, Dan. Wouldn't it be nice if Trump won, took office in January, and things started to get back to normal, the border closed, and we got some sense of sanity back in society? Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be awesome, but I'm glad you mentioned terrorism, because the only scenario that I see where Trump actually does get into the White House alive and well is if everything dumps right in front of him. In other words, terrorist attacks, multiple terrorist attacks within the country and outside the country, economic terrorist attacks, because remember that attack in 2008 when the stock market dumped 1,500 points and they had to have an emergency meeting. That was a collective financial attack from the enemies of the U.S. They called our debts all simultaneously, and that was well planned. They could do something similar, because again, we're in tremendous debt. $34 trillion is not something to sneeze at. So there's all kinds of things that President Trump would have to deal with immediately, and then of course they're going to be stabbing him in the back the entire time. So I admire President Trump for going through this entire fiasco to get back to the White House. There's a few people who would have the wherewithal to do this.
Yeah. Hats off to Donald. Because he doesn't have to do it. He never had to do it. He still doesn't have to do it. And God bless Donald Trump. Indeed. Absolutely. Thanks, Dan. You have a fabulous weekend.
Thanks, bud.